Hey everyone, welcome back to Go and Grow Homestead. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Today I'm going to do a project that has been on our list, I should say, and we thought, okay, that week off for spring break is a good time to try this. We have had several instances of nails or other metal debris and objects ending up in our vehicle tires, and as many of you know, it's a hassle to go have those fully repaired. We could do some spot repairs ourselves, but taking time out of your day and having to schedule something with your tire repair place is not ideal, and obviously just having that happen is a huge concern and hassle when you have to drive everywhere like we do often every day. One of the things we said was probably that our driveway has a lot of nails in it and other metal debris from the projects we've been doing over the last 3 years and the people who lived here before, certainly. And probably nobody's ever really done that. And certainly we've found nails and screws and picked them up off the ground as we can visually see them. So this is one of the projects that we wanted to do. I bought something today. I'll show a close-up photo of it later, but it's by Magnet Source and it's called a magnetic mini sweeper. So obviously it has the wheels. This actually twists off right here if for some reason you needed to separate these two pieces. You just roll it on the ground and it's supposed to pick things up. The guy in the store demonstrated it for me with a hammer, so it picked up and held onto a hammer. That was pretty impressive. I got this one at Ace Hardware, and things are expensive everywhere. This was $37 there. I did have a $10 off coupon though, so that was fantastic. Gonna get started and see what we find. If you notice, I have my winter coat on and I have a very thick sweater on underneath this coat. About half hour ago, it was only 35 degrees. I think it's 41 now. And by 5 today, it's supposed to be 60, so that's something, but it's definitely still chilly here. We have done quite a few things that we needed to do and wanted to do on this time off so far, which is great, but a lot of the outdoor garden projects kind of at a standstill because of how cold it is, and then it's windy, and then we've also had a little bit of rain as well. It's obviously just not ideal conditions for being outside doing some of that kind of stuff. Ooh! Awesome! That looks like a piece of old fencing, maybe. Maybe an old nail. Not barbed wire. I'm trying to think of what that probably is. I've seen it before. Oh, and a bunch of tiny metal pieces too. Interesting. This is what it looks like though, for an up-close shot. And yes, you can probably guess with how long our driveway is, and even just doing an area like this, it will take forever, but it's worth doing. I don't know that I'll get to the whole driveway today, but I wanted to try it and see how it worked. I found a few more things. Around the chicken coop is definitely going to be an area where we're going to find some screws. I have found a lot after my husband built the coop. But this area here, sometimes people park right here, service people or family friends, and we have a trailer parked over here right now, and so sometimes trailers are parked here, several trailers, etc. So this would be an area too where construction type materials might sometimes sit. I already found a couple more. There's a rusty screw and a staple. So originally I thought I'll just put stuff in my pockets as I'm doing this, and then the more stuff I started to find, I thought I should probably have a separate container. Okay, so I already went all the way around the coop. Oh, I have the chicken posse coming to check on me. I didn't find that much. There were a couple of staples, I think because that's what we use to secure the plastic for the winterization. So there are a few newer staples and a couple of very old screws, not from when we built this. So that was interesting. I thought there would be a whole lot more there. I'm just going to do a little bit more here around this part of the driveway and then move on to another section. Hi guys. Is it more that I'm carrying a bag because you know that bags mean treats and food, and it's not so much that you're interested in this thing, huh? Is that the deal? Well, so far I'm not finding all that much. I feel like we have certainly found a lot of stuff over time as we're walking around and doing different things on the property, and certainly doing new build projects. Just find it with our eyes. Anyway, I have found a few pieces of trash just visually, so that's always good. This property was one where people definitely used it as a trash dump. One of the projects that I did, I think 2 days ago on our break here, was I walked up and down this driveway, and off either side of the driveway, I picked up trash that I knew was there and just looked for additional trash that we might not quite be able to see from our vehicles as we're coming and going. Most of the trash was close to the road, which is to be expected, and most of it wasn't ours. It was either things that were here before us or things that people either threw out of their vehicles as they're driving, so it was down in our ditch close to the road, or things that probably just accidentally flew out of their vehicles. I took a large black trash bag and, like I said, walked the whole driveway and picked up a lot of stuff, car parts. I found a coffee pot. That was weird. And then, of course, a lot of faded cans, other plastic things. But since we do keep our trash receptacle at the road, we do occasionally have a raccoon get into it. But I'm pretty good about making sure the trash bags are sealed up really well. And we've only had that happen a couple of times, shockingly, in almost 3 years. And I think that's in part too because it is so close to the road. There's a lot of traffic there, and maybe the raccoons just don't want to get that close to the road and be disturbed either.
See bottles over there.
It's a worthwhile purchase.
Over the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Rusty razor blade, that's always great.
See, right now it's a
So, we found a section of the driveway that
has a lot of metal in it.
has a lot of metal in it. So move that a little bit, Daniel. Move it again. And Daniel discovered that the magnet was still grabbing it through the cup.
Yeah, oh, now I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I thought it was broken. I thought it got a split in it. After all this.
Nope. All right, so I'm going to show you where we found all that stuff so you can try to find some too. You got something? Oh, you're putting it back on there? More projects. Yeah? Wow, that's just in the last like 30 seconds, huh?
And I already got this.
Wow, look at all that stuff.
Put a razor blade here.
Some kind of blade, yeah.
Who would do that?
I don't
That
know.
was very cursed.
Yeah.
I already heard a click.
Did you hear that click? I heard it too. Okay, show me your hand. Wow!
I'm hearing metal.
Hi, girl. Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh my goodness. There's a bunch of nails in this area. Here's the treasure. These are all of the things that we found with that magnet today. And that's crazy to me. These found with the naked eye and picked up, of course. But all of this stuff. So we did not find $1 million in coins or anything, but we cleaned up our property today and hopefully protected some tires. So I would say that's a win. This is our second driveway project today. The other day, with all of the rain that we had, that really intense, heavy rain that literally went for 2 whole days and all through the night, thunder and lightning storms, caused, I'm going to try to get it in the video here, there you go. But obviously it caused a significant amount of water runoff, essentially a trench in our driveway, which is not great. It's pretty deep. Literally washed all of the stones all the way down and off of the driveway in a couple of spots. You can see that kind of right there. but it went even farther than that. I'll show you that as well. Kind of where a lot of the water ran into the woods and created that really large lake that was off of the driveway. There's a bunch of stones down there as well. Off to the one side of our driveway, I noticed a lot of these kind of water runoff paths coming from this side. It is very elevated on this side of the driveway. And you have that field over there, which I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but that's pretty high up on a hill. And then it gradually comes down into our driveway and kind of going across the driveway. You can see one of the paths that the water took. There's a little bit of wet mud still. And then here's one of the spots where it just washed all of our gravel off to the side. Now, we were already thinking that we needed to have another round of gravel and put on the driveway, delivered, etc. We knew that would be expensive. We were looking into that before this rain happened. Parts of the driveway needed some additional stones again. So this situation did not help at all. That made things significantly worse. But here's the thing. This is going to be labor intensive and take some time for me to do, but I'd rather do it this way than pay for even more stones than we were already planning to add to the driveway, because it would be quite a bit of money that we weren't planning to spend on this type of a project. Also, I just think it's really wasteful to have a bunch of gravel and larger stones in the woods where they're certainly not needed and don't belong. Then in terms of, well, I'd pay someone to come out and do that so that I didn't have to. Well, good luck with that. Anybody who's had projects like this probably knows that probably nobody's really going to come out and do this for you. You might be able to find a handyman looking for that kind of work, but again, you're going to pay money. You're going to pay quite a bit of money, and this is just one of those homeowner maintenance things that some of us have to deal with if you have this kind of a driveway. And this is only about halfway through our driveway. So it's just not something that anyone else is gonna feel is worth their time and money to come out, even if you're paying them. Unfortunately, this needs to be a project that we're adding to our list this week that was not originally on the list. Here's another water runoff spot. And not too far from it is another one. And then here you might think, well, you know, the stones on the driveway don't look too bad. I don't see a ton of washout until you pan to the left. And this area is quite large. And this is where I think a lot of the water came into the woods, making that lake. I'll show you in just a minute here. So it's going farther, farther, farther out. Let's walk in there. Oh, yeah, I'm not getting this all done today, am I? Not even close. Well, we will start this project today, but we will not finish it today. This is even worse than I thought it was. Oh, I'm surprised that sections of the driveway aren't completely dirt with how much rock is down here. This is good driveway rock, too, that's meant for the type of driveway that we have. Good news, the forest floor is back. This was that area that was completely covered in water. The deer have come back down here. That's good. A lot of little muddy hoof prints. So again, that video that I posted the other day, this was all underwater, kind of back into the woods there. That's the driveway side. And then if we pan back, that is the trail that we came down when we looked at it from the other side. So I brought the wheelbarrow down with me because of the other section in the woods that, you know, washed a lot more of it farther back into the woods. I think we'll start with this very small section, and I'll probably just shovel full it back into the trenches up the driveway a little bit, see where we get with that, and at least feel accomplished doing that much today. This part, it's almost easier to do this and just try to get a baseline for where the edge of the driveway should be. One thing that's not ideal about doing it this way though is don't really want leaf, stick, and grass litter on the driveway, but it is what it is. After this rain happened, which was only about a week ago, it kept getting cold again and threatening to rain again or sprinkling a little bit. We were also really busy working and just doing all the normal life stuff, so we did not have time to come out here and do something like this. And this was one of my plans for the week off, was trying to get a little bit more back in order with this situation. Okay, that section probably took me about 15 minutes, and I filled in a little bit of the trench that was right here. We're gonna proceed down the driveway to that much bigger, much worse area, but that looks a whole lot better to me in terms of, you know, there's not good driveway rocks out in the woods where they don't belong, and the fact that I was able to fill in a little bit of our trench. This is gonna be a chore where we're going for better than it was, not for perfection. Ooh, where to start? As not ideal as this is, having this happen, I will say we are lucky that this is all that happened to us. Our house is fine. There are no other structures or buildings on our property that are underwater. There were a lot of people around us who've had and still have that situation going on. So Michigan is known for the Great Lakes, and Lake Michigan in particular, but we're a state that has water everywhere. Lots of inland lakes, lots of rivers. So where we live, there's a big river that runs through the larger town that's near us. There's a lot of creeks, a lot of lakes, so all of those things overflowed. Anyone who lives along a river here, I've seen videos that local people have posted online, and parts of their houses are underwater, or things like their sheds, or, you know, it came up into their yard, destroying some things and making things impassable. So at least our house sits high up on a hill, and that was one thing that we considered when we were looking at this property, noting kind of all of the valleys, the high points, the low points, which make the property unique and beautiful. But we did note that the house is up on a very nice manicured hill that has quite an incline. So as you kind of go around the driveway, you go up a little bit more, and the house itself is just on quite a hill. So that helps. We didn't have any problems like that. Additionally, kudos to whoever built the basement of this house, because while the house is not a pricey, expensive type, they did a really nice job with the basement. It's amazing. It was partially finished when we moved in. We realized it wasn't done very well, so we're going to be redoing that. But structurally, it's sound, and it has those, I don't know what they're called. I'm not a construction person, but it's very large blocks. It's not even cinder block. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen if I can figure out what type of blocks they are. But I've never seen a basement like that. And then it has a very perfectly poured concrete floor. Part of it was painted. Part of it has some 1980s carpet in it. But it's very well done. And it's been usable. When we've had too many house guests that we can't fit upstairs, we can put people in the basement, or we've slept in the basement. Well, I just wanted to finish up my video because, you know, more technical difficulties while I was down there trying to do the driveway. So what I was saying when I got cut off was just that we have successfully used the basement for tornado protection and going down there when there's tornado watches and warnings and just other severe thunderstorms where we weren't comfortable being upstairs. And Michigan used to get the luxury of avoiding a lot of that severe weather that a lot of other states would have to deal with. In the past, things like tornadoes and a lot of flooding were really a rarity, but unfortunately they're more common now and we have to deal with them here too. I managed to fill a few holes down at that end of the driveway and get some of those good stones out of the woods, but we'll have to rethink what we're doing down there, and we will be calling someone to deliver some stones. And this is just one of the projects that Dave was working on today while I was dealing with the driveway, just clearing out one of the many areas that we wanted to clear out. And of course the chickens are very happy about that. They get to dig around and look for bugs and help us clean it up in a different way. Hi! But thanks for coming along today, guys, while we did those 2 driveway chores, and we will see you next time. Have a good day.